Hi, I'm Larry Richardson, your step-by-step chef. In this episode of Cooking and Camping with the Step-by-Step Chef, we're going to make one of my favorite comfort foods, potato salad. Now, when you're on a road trip and you're cooking and you're camping and you're hiking, sometimes you miss home a little bit, and there's nothing like this potato salad to take you home. So come on, let's cook. Okay, let me just remind you, all of these recipes in Cooking and Camping with the Step-by-Step Chef can be made whether you're on the road, out in a campsite like I am, way out in the Chattahoochee National Forest of North Georgia, up in the mountains, or you're sitting at home. These are easy recipes that are also delicious. And you just keep making them yourself and having a good time. And I don't care where you are, I think you will like this potato salad. So here are the ingredients. Of course, we need water to boil the potatoes and the egg. We have one egg. So I have about a half a pound of potatoes there, red potatoes. Get any boiling potato that you like. Just avoid the baking potatoes because when you boil them, they just fall apart. You'll end up with mashed potato salad. That's what you'll end up with. We're also going to use one celery stalk, a quarter cup of finely diced onion. We're going to use a dab of mustard if you like. This is to taste. That's totally up to you. It kind of gives it a little bit more of that German potato salad taste that some people like. We're going to use 3 tablespoons of mayo, and I have salt and pepper. The other thing that we're going to use that is not shown here is some of the cold water out of your cooler, because that will help us to be able to peel the egg. We're going to take the egg, and actually the potatoes too, lower them into that cold water out of your cooler, and make sure it's clean water. If you have dirty cooler water, don't use that. And use whatever cold water you have at home. I know it's safe there. But that will help to bring down the temperature so we can eat much sooner, and it will make the egg a lot easier to peel. So let me show you how to put all this together. Now the first thing we're going to do is just take a look at the potatoes. If you see the potatoes have those eyes, a little bit of growth, or they have any kind of like weird tough spots, cut those out. Like there's a little bit of eye to it. Nobody wants to chew on that when they're having their delicious potato salad. Just get those eyes out of there. Sometimes you can use your finger to do if they're really little. Yep, that's clean. So this is basically called cleaning the potatoes. Get rid of those oddball eyes and any bruise spot or anything that looks kind of tough. Yeah. I think these were starting to sprout in my car. I used these potatoes in another recipe the other day. Some of these potatoes, and I think the warmth of my car has caused them to sprout. So I'm just getting rid of these tough spots. There's another eye. Okay. I think I got to these potatoes just in time. I would have ended up with an Idaho load of potatoes in my car, and I don't know how I can explain that to Highway Patrol. I think getting pulled over for illegal use of potatoes, I mean, that could end badly. So I have all these potatoes, and again, they are boiling potatoes. If you get the lighter colored boiling potatoes, that's cool too. So I'm just going to set these over here, and then all I'm doing is cutting them into potato salad size pieces. You know, just these little pieces. And I'm doing it this size also because they'll boil faster. And when you're camping, saving propane does make a difference. And I'm just putting these pieces right into this pan. And these will only take about 15 minutes to boil. And we just don't want them to get too soft, so then we have to change this recipe over to German mashed potatoes. So timing is of the essence when we make this, but it's not that hard. We just want the potatoes to be a little bit firm when we boil them. Okay, just put them right into your pan. That was easy. It's so pretty out here tonight in the Chattahoochee National Forest. I can hear the birds, there's a nice breeze, it's nice and cool. I did a long hike up Blood Mountain today, had a great time. And it's just a beautiful hike. And you know, I hope that if you're watching this series that you do cook along with me. And if you have a hankering to go camping or hiking, find a place nearby and go for a walk. Go check it out. Nature's just amazing, and getting out here and cooking is an absolute joy for me. And sharing it with you is absolutely the mayonnaise on the potato salad. I just gotta say it. I'm so glad to have you here with me. So all these pieces just going in. I love potato salad. I don't eat it all the time because the mayonnaise isn't necessarily good for you as a a daily food, but it sure is delicious when I have it. No complaints from me. There we go. Get those all sliced up. You know, these videos are also my travel logs, so probably this winter when I'm stuck home, I'll watch these and I'll go, oh, I remember the day I cooked that. And, and I'll make all the neighbors come over and watch, just like when people used to do slideshows in the old days or pass around their vacation pictures. And, and you wished you were anywhere but there. Yep, I'm going to do that to everybody I know. They're going to watch me cook at a bunch of different state, national, and county parks. I mean, what could be more exciting than that? I don't know. And here's our last tater. And now I'm just going to take our egg, which has been rinsed off also. Oops, got some of that. Oh. Take our egg and just put it right in here. Now this egg is special to me. This egg is actually from a local farm stand. And if you are road tripping, if you're camping, you're hiking, stop by those local country stores and pick up what they're carrying from the local farms. This is from Vicky's near Blairsville, Georgia. And I've already had a couple of these eggs and they are delicious hard-boiled. I'm going to grab another box of them before I head out of town. So now meet me over at the stove. And what we're going to do, we'll just cut up the onion and the celery while the potato and the egg are boiling. So here's our setup. We have our propane stove, and of course we've read the directions and practiced how to light it. You just want to be careful with this. You don't want the gas to build up and then apply the flame, because then you might have a flashback. That is just a very important point. And so what I've done is I have the potatoes and the egg in one pan, and this pan over here is actually going to be the one I put in the clean cooler water to cool down this. And if you're making it at home, just use the coldest tap water you have, maybe throw a couple of ice cubes in it. And this way you can eat your potato salad a lot sooner. And it should, theoretically, make the egg easier to peel too. And I'm just adding water just over the top of the potatoes. There we go. Yeah, let the egg sink down a little bit. And now let's light the stove. This is called the lighting of the stove ceremony. Celebrated at millions of campsites every night. Okay, I hear the hiss. Voila. And let's just put this on here. And we're going to bring it to a boil. And we're not going to let it get too wild. We don't want the boil to be a rolling boil that's going to break the egg. We just want it to be a nice, moderate boil that cooks the potatoes and cooks the eggs. So let's just bring this up to cruising altitude, and then we'll start our 15-minute count. So I'm just going to cover this, keep an eye on it, and then I'll meet you over and we'll chop up the celery and the onion. Now, if you are cooking at altitude, the cooking times can vary. It might take a little bit longer to get this up to a boil so that it cooks the ingredients. It's just the way it works. I don't know why. It has to do with pressure. I guess I do know why. Okay, so I'm going to meet you over at the cutting board. Keep an eye on this. When it reaches that boiling altitude, then we're going to turn the heat down a little bit and just let it do its thing. Okay, I rinsed the eyes off of the cutting board. I don't want the potato salad staring back at us. And I'm just going to score this celery stalk. These nice lengthwise cuts, so that we have little pieces of celery. I don't want big pieces of celery. in our potato salad. And then I'm just cutting it, you know, probably about 1/8 of an inch thick. You can add more or less of any of these ingredients, do it to taste. Okay, that should be enough of the celery. Oops, that piece got a little big. Got ahead of me. That piece did too. Okay, I'm just going to put this in this bowl. And then we're going to take our onion, and we want about 1/4 cup of onion. Just cutting it down like this. And then peel it. Get that skin off of there. Now keep an ear out on your stove. If you hear that water start to boil hard or it comes up over the top, turn that heat down. You can also add a little bit of salt to the water. It'll boil a little bit faster. There's all sorts of little tips and tricks. Okay, so there we go. And now all I'm going to do, and I want this like minced too, just like the celery. I'm just cutting it lengthwise on the top. There we go. Now these are nice parallel lines, and now we're doing the perpendicular. And I go about as deep as I think I need to go when I slice down the face to make our onion, to produce our minced onion. So here we go, and then just go like this. Oops. Okay, just touch up these pieces a little bit. And if you don't like onion, leave it out. That's totally up to you. I like it a little bit on the spicy side, and I also try to sneak vegetables into everything I make. It's just healthier to do that. Even a potato salad with vegetables is going to be a little healthier than just mayo and potatoes. Okay, so this is what we're going to stir in with the mayo, a little bit of mustard. Now the mustard thing is kind of funny because if you go into a lot of supermarkets in larger cities, they're going to have about 10 different varieties of potato salad. I mean, New York, San Francisco, London. I mean, they just make it in so many different ways now. So, you know, pick your favorite ingredients and just add them. Do it to taste. I'm not the cook-tator. I'm just showing you the basics, and then you do everything to your taste. So let's go check the stove. Okay, we have a nice slow boil going on. That's where I want it. And in 15 minutes, we will check those potatoes. They should be soft enough. If they're not, I mean, I'm at altitude, so they might need a few more minutes. I'll give them that extra time. But that's a nice level of boil that I'm looking for. So let's start counting off our 15 minutes now. And again, if you notice the water's boiling too hard, or it comes up over the top of the pan, then turn it down, turn the gas down. I just had to do that because this was starting to get a little bit too busy. So I'll see you in about 13 minutes now. Okay, so 15 minutes later, let's take a look at what we got. Oh, and I do want to tell you that at one point the water did try to come up out of the pan, so I had to take the cover off, turn it down a little bit. Sometimes you have to put the cover on a little bit crooked to stop it from doing that. So you have to be a little bit creative, and like I keep telling you, working with propane at any kind of altitude, it is as much an art as a science. So let's take a look at what's going on here. See, the potato has a little give to it. These are ready to come out of the heat because they're actually going to continue to cook even after I take them off the stove. So I'm going to turn the heat off. There we go, stove's turned off. I'm going to just go quick drain this. Okay, I drained away all the hot water, and then I got the cold water from my cooler. So I have the cold water right here from my cooler, and I'm just going to carefully spoon the potatoes and our egg into this to cool them down. It'll make the egg easier to peel, and it will cool the potatoes down so we can have potato salad a lot sooner. And again, this is cool, clean water. Don't do this with river water or, you know, or maybe water out of your cooler that beer spilled in, and then a hot dog fell into it, and then maybe the next day a yogurt opened up into it. Don't do that. Make sure it's clean, cold water. And the same at home. Although I doubt that the calamities that can befall cold water on the road is going to happen in your house. So I'm just cooling this down, and I'm going to give it about 5 to 10 minutes. I want it truly cold because then I can make the potato salad and I can eat it right away. So I'll be right back. And 10 minutes later, everything's nice and cool. Even the egg feels cool to the touch. So I'm going to take the egg out and just set it aside. And then I'm going to carefully drain the water off of this. And we're going to use this pan as our mixing bowl for the potato salad. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. Here's all our ingredients. I have our red potatoes in this pan. And all I'm going to do, first of all, is just put our veggies in there. This is going to be yummy. Okay, so the veggies are all in there. And now we'll take our egg, and we're just going to slice it up real fine. We're going to make it a squishy egg. This egg just cooked perfectly. This is what you want to see. You don't want a soft-boiled egg. You want a hard-boiled egg for your egg salad sauce. And I'm just, kind of dicing it, mincing it, making it manageable. And you want a little bit of egg presence in this dish. So there we go. We'll add that to our potato pot. Let me stand up. This is a very, very involved maneuver. And sometimes if I'm at home, I'll make this in the egg and the mayo and the salt and pepper and the mustard in a separate bowl. But since I'm camping, I try to economize. And here's our 3 tablespoons of mayo. You can add more if you like. Just a dab of mustard if you want. You can leave this out if you don't. It just adds another note to the potato salad. And then here's our salt and pepper. My friend Debbie gave me these. These are great. It's a little camping set. I keep this up front. So if I have a salt and pepper emergency when I'm tooling down the road, I just grab that and there it is. Now, I'm not a huge mayo person in my potato salad. If you are, go for it. But you can see that was just the right amount for this dish. Oh, that's going to be tasty. So congratulations, look at what you just did. You just made this delicious potato salad. Now, if you like this recipe, please go to my website. There's a printable version of this recipe and over 175 other breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. I even threw in a couple of desserts. I try not to do too many desserts because I tend to eat them, and that's a big problem. The other thing you're going to find there, because I'm doing camping and cooking, or cooking and camping with the Step by Step Chef, you will find some videos on how to camp. I'm going to show you the essentials of camping, and then you can make it your own. So my name's Larry Richardson. I am your Step by Step Chef, and I'll see you in the next episode.